Have you ever stopped to wonder what it truly costs you to become strong? Not strong in the empowering sense, but strong in the way the world quietly demands of women. The strength that learned how to smile while hurting. The strength that learned how to stay quiet when emotions felt inconvenient. The strength that learned how to survive, but forgot how to feel. From an early age, many women are taught a silent lesson. To be loved, you must adjust. To belong, you must soften your truth. To stay safe, you must hide the most vulnerable parts of yourself. And so, little by little, something precious is lost. Not ambition, not intelligence, but the innocent, intuitive, emotionally alive little girl within, the original source of feminine energy. Carl Jung believed that this loss is never a personal failure. It is a natural consequence of an unhealed inner child, and he warned us of something even deeper. As long as that little girl remains buried in the unconscious, your feminine essence cannot flow freely. It remains imprisoned, waiting. So the question becomes, how do you awaken her? How do you return to softness without fear? How do you stop bracing yourself for survival and begin living from intuition, receptivity, and inner safety? Jung left us a quiet but powerful answer. To be free, you must return. Return to where it all began. Return to the place where that little girl learned it was safer to disappear. In today's journey, I will guide you gently back to her, and I invite you to stay until the end, because this may not be a video you randomly found. It may be the call your soul has been waiting to hear. If this resonates already, gently tap the like button. Chapter 1, The Abandoned Child Within. Many women grow up believing something is wrong with them. They feel emotionally exhausted in relationships, lonely even when surrounded by people, overwhelmed by reactions they can't explain. So they think, maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm weak. Maybe I asked for too much. But Jung saw something else entirely. He understood that these reactions are not flaws. They are echoes of the little girl inside you who once needed comfort and didn't receive it. In Jungian psychology, the psyche is not a single voice. It is an inner ecosystem made of the ego, the conscious self, and the unconscious. Inside this unconscious live the parts of us that were once rejected, silenced, or deemed unacceptable. For many women, the inner child becomes one of these exiled parts. She doesn't disappear. She retreats. And from that hidden place, she continues to influence your emotions, relationships, and self-worth. Have you ever felt intense pain when someone pulls away? Felt crushed by criticism that others seem to brush off? Felt your chest tighten at rejection that seems small on the surface? That isn't the present moment speaking. That is a child reliving an old wound. Jung called this the shadow, the emotional material we were never allowed to express. And for women, the inner child often becomes shadowed by beliefs like, I must please to be loved. My feelings are too much. If I am myself, I will be abandoned. These beliefs are not logical conclusions. They are survival strategies. A child cannot say, my parents are emotionally unavailable. Instead, she says, something is wrong with me. And from that moment, an unconscious map is formed. Be yourself, risk abandonment. Please others, feel safer. This map doesn't disappear with age. It silently shapes adult life. If you're recognizing yourself here, leave a comment. Your honesty might help someone else feel less alone. Chapter 2, Repetition, Not Fate. Have you noticed a pattern? The emotionally distant partner, the critical authority figure, the environments where you are never quite enough. Jung called this repetition compulsion. The psyche recreates familiar wounds, not to punish you, but in a desperate attempt to finally heal them. Your unconscious keeps asking, can this time be different? But without awareness, The pattern repeats, and eventually we call it fate. Jung warned us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. This isn't destiny. It's unfinished emotional business. To survive childhood, the ego develops armor. You become independent, capable, high-functioning. But beneath that strength lives a child who never learned safety. A woman may succeed professionally, yet feel emotionally overwhelmed in intimacy. Because she isn't loving as an adult, she's loving as a child, still searching for reassurance. This is not weakness. It is unresolved attachment. And healing begins the moment you realize, my reactions make sense. My pain has history, and I am not broken. Chapter 3, The Loss of Feminine Energy. Feminine energy is not something you earn. It is something you are born with. It lives in intuition, creativity, receptivity, emotional depth. But when safety is lost early, this energy retreats, because softness feels dangerous to a child who wasn't protected. So the feminine becomes guarded, controlled, hidden beneath logic and effort. Jung believed femininity is a spiritual state, a deep connection to the subconscious and emotional truth, but fear seals it away. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of being seen. And so the woman survives, but no longer flows. She becomes a stream blocked by stones, forced to twist and shrink to continue existing. The tragedy is not strength, it is disconnection. Because feminine energy does not respond to force. It awakens through safety. And safety comes from within. If you're feeling this deeply, consider subscribing. This channel exists for this exact journey. Chapter 4, Individuation, The Journey Home. Jung did not believe the purpose of life was becoming better. He believed it was becoming whole. This process is called individuation, not adding traits, not fixing yourself, but removing what never belonged. Roles, masks, survival identities. Individuation means welcoming the shadow, listening to the child, integrating softness with strength. It is not ascent, it is descent, down into memory, emotion, truth. And when you do this, something shifts. You stop needing approval, because you have finally approved of yourself. You stop abandoning yourself, because you return home. Chapter 5, Healing Practices, Meeting the Inner Child. Exercise 1, Recognition. Look at a childhood photo, not to analyze, but to feel. Ask, what did she need? What did she lose? What did she believe about herself? Write to her, not to fix, but to see. Exercise 2, Listening. Sit quietly. Invite her presence. Ask, what do you need from me right now? Listen without judgment. This is reparenting. Exercise 3, Becoming the Mother. Notice your inner voice. Would you speak that way? To a frightened child? Change the tone. Offer safety. Offer patience. Exercise 4, Honoring Feminine Energy. Choose joy without justification. Creativity without productivity. Rest without guilt. This is reclamation. Exercise 5, Healing Rejection. Recall rejection and separate it from worth. You were never unlovable. Others were simply limited. Finally, returning, not becoming. You were once whole, before the world asked you to fragment. Healing is not becoming someone new. It is remembering who you were before you learned to disappear. And when you sit with that child, when you let her feel safe again, you awaken a force that was never lost. Your intuition, your softness, your feminine soul. Thank you for walking this path with me. If this journey spoke to you, subscribe and stay close. Some messages arrive exactly when the soul is ready.